one of the dance forms that I had to learn within hours was belly dancing. I've never done belly dancing ever in my life, ever. If I don't do a dance form correctly, na, that pinches me really badly. That's like shame on you, Sandeepa, like that.
Hello everyone, welcome to PeepingMoon.com. I'm Rashita Sahani, and today joining me for a super fun and super interesting conversation is Sandeepa Dhar, who was recently seen in Chattis Aur Maina. So, Sandeepa, firstly, tell me that you play the role of a dancer. Firstly, I watched a bit of it. Your dance is commendable. Though, of course, you're a professional, so it's unmatchable. But you tell me, how was your character similar to you in real life? Because I saw, she's headstrong, she's strong, and she's focused. So I think the same traits that maybe you have.
Yeah, I mean, there is certain amount of similarity. I think at the core of it, I think we are very similar. In terms of energies, also, I think we're very similar. I think I'm also the kind of person who believes that career and love life can go hand in hand. One doesn't need to choose one over the other. And I would expect my partner to understand that as well and support me like the way I would support him in his work life. I think that is the similarity between men. I mean, of course, I think there's a lot of dissimilarity as well. I think the heart of both the characters is pretty similar.
Okay. And of course, you danced to the tunes of Munni Badnaam in the show, which of course you had before. So, how nostalgic was that?
It was actually in the beginning when they told me that we're looking at doing your intro as Munni Badnaam. I was petrified because I was like, you're taking an iconic song like Munni Badnaam, because the first thing people are going to think about is Malaika, and she did such a fab job in that song that how does even one like do anything, because then you're going to be compared irrespective.
Yeah.
So I was petrified. I was like, "Are you sure?" And this is supposed to be my intro song. I'm like, "ये ना अगर flat पड़ गया तो फिर पूरा मैना का पूरा journey flat जाएगा." So initially I was petrified, but I think the choreographer Maggie, when he explained how they want to do it and stuff like that, and then I realized that at the end of the day, if you do something which is engaging, then I don't think people go into comparisons as much. And
Yeah.
I was like, "Dil se karo, honesty se karo," and you make it look. And they, the producers told me that they're going to make sure that it's going to look, like a proper, production value and everything. It's going to be, a game. So then I was like, okay, fine, let's attempt it. And I was also scared because I didn't have time to rehearse. I had 5 songs that I had to learn in 2 days, and we shot all the songs together. So it was very stressful because you usually take about 2 to 3 days to shoot one song, and
Exactly.
I had to shoot one song in 12 hours because we were shooting in pandemic. We didn't have that much time. We're fighting against time. So I was nervous as hell. But I think once the song came out and everyone's kind of liked it so much, I was like,
Okay. Also, as you mentioned that you shot for several songs in just 2 days, and it was of course hectic. But what was your prep like? Because I know you are a dancer, everyone knows that, but still you need a certain prep for planned dances. How did you do that?
there was one googly after the other thrown at me in this. So yes, I'm a trained dancer, but I'm not trained in every possible dance
Yeah.
forms out there. Like I'm trained in jazz and contemporary, and that's it. Rest everything is new to me in a way. Like so one of the dance forms that I had to learn within hours was belly dancing. I've never done belly dancing ever
Okay.
in my life, ever. I don't know technicality. There's a certain technicality that you need to learn in order to do belly dancing. And when the choreographer Maggie told me that, so they had picked up this old song called Jareja O Harjai, which is a Reena Roy song, and they've
Hmm.
remixed it, and they wanted to attempt belly dancing on it because the choreographer felt that, because you're a dancer, we should attempt different dance forms and show,
Yeah.
variations in all of this, which I completely agreed with him. But I was like, this works if I had enough time. But like, so I signed the show, and a week later we started shooting, and we started shooting from the songs. Like, that's the first thing that we shot. So I didn't have time. I had 2 days. That's it, to learn all the songs. So when, like, so I again, so they got a belly dancing, instructor who started teaching me these things, and I was like, I was shitting bricks because I didn't know if I was, and as a dancer, I'm extremely cautious of when I try and attempt dance forms, because you don't want to make a fool of yourself. Because I know people are going to point fingers and say that, she's a dancer. How could she make a mistake like that? And the same was, I also did Kathak in one of the songs, and I'm a Bharatanatyam dancer. So for me, Kathak is again completely different world, because the beat pattern is completely different, the mudras are completely different, and I'm super petrified of touching Indian classical, because you can't mess with Indian classical. You can mess with anything else, you can't mess with Indian classical. But again, we had like a Kathak teacher who came in to teach me the basics, and I'm like, teach me basics money in like I've learned it in 1 hour, 2 hours, like that. So what people take years to do, I had it in like few hours, because I had to learn the choreography also, no? So I have to first learn the technical aspect of it, then learn the choreography, and then do it in 12 hours, that entire thing. It was very stressful. There was a lot of I was very unsure, because I didn't know if I would be able to pull it off. And for me, if I don't do a dance form correctly, that pinches me really badly. That's like, shame on you, Sandeepa, like that. So obviously there's a lot of rehearsal that went in. I've rehearsed a lot and lot, and because I didn't have enough time to shoot it, we had only 12 hours, so I had to obviously like I didn't sit for those 7 days, because I was constantly dancing, and I lost some 5 kilos at the end of it. It was very stressful. This entire shoot was stressful, because we had limited time to shoot this entire thing in, and Maina as a character is there throughout. So I have scenes with everybody, so I didn't have the liberty and the luxury to like breathe.
But I think it must be seeming all worth it now. Now that it's out and people are praising the dance performances and of course your acting. Coming to that part, acting wise, what was your approach like? Because the story is pretty unique. The format is also unique. There's dance, there's acting, there are a lot of more things. What was your approach like for your character, Maina?
I think the first and the most foremost thing that I did was I researched nachaniyas, because for me it's an art form. They're artists, and I had to research what they're like, because we were in pandemic. I couldn't interact with them one-on-one. So everything that I did was, all my research was through YouTube, and there's so much out there about them. So I did my research on them through that. I also watched a few films which were based on them, to understand how I can make Maina different from everything else that's already been portrayed. So what I gathered from all my understanding of all of this was, what I've seen was, I knew one thing, that I didn't want Maina to be crass. Because up until now, whoever has portrayed a nachaniya has always portrayed them in a very crass manner. And they've always sexualized the character, which I felt was so wrong, because they are performers. Why are you sexualizing them for their art form? Then, you're not giving them the respect of being a performer.
Respect and credit. Correct.
When you're looking at them in that lewd way, that's wrong. So, and I'm so glad the way the script is also written, like the way Maina's character is also written, it's written in a very, very different manner. It's not written like how everybody else is written, how nachaniya usually is. So that I brought in. I wanted Maina to be more real and more likable, and she's a normal, strong woman who knows what she wants. She's got a dream, and she's not shy of chasing her dream. And I think like she's like any other woman of today, like she's like you and me. We aren't shy of going after what we want. And she does this in a very respectable manner. And I mean, she's very proud of being a performer. And we made sure that none of the songs, none of her performances were in any way titillating or was sexualizing her in any way.
Yeah.
Um, I felt that for me, even, like I think the director and the choreographer, everybody kept that in mind. And I'm so grateful for that, because I think that's where we thought Maina's life and journey would be. So of course, I researched on how nachaniyas are. I had to pick up an accent because it's based in UP. So there's a certain lehja that I had to keep. Um, we didn't want it to be too UP-ish because then people don't understand it. So we had to keep that, the correct balance.
Yeah.
Also, because Maina is a traveling, she belongs to a traveling group, a dance group. So she's not necessarily from Dhupur, from a surrounding area. So she not necessarily will talk exactly like the way people in Dhupur talk, but there has to be certain similarity because we're from the same area. So I had to keep that. So we had a dialect coach for that, who was on set and at the time of dubbing as well, to keep us in check. So I mean, did that. Then of course I think this was the first time that was exploring romantic comedy. I've also done very like dramatic thrillers and serious roles, and this is the first time I was attempting comedy. I was attempting romance, and I think comedy is one of the most toughest things to do.
I know.
And it's not easy to make people laugh, and without going overboard, because it's not slapstick. Slapstick is easy because then you use your body in order to communicate the comedy. Here you have to be as natural as possible, without going overboard at all. So I had to understand the beat of a romantic series is very different from anything else. I had to build my relationship with each one of the characters, because I have a special relationship with each one, because it's an ensemble cast. So apart from, of course, the lead, Chattis, I have a certain relationship with his father, his mother, mohalle wale. There is an entire mohalla that is involved in Maina's life. So I had to do all of that. I had to spend time, with each one of them and figure out a graph of each one. Because there is the way I behave with say Karmat is very different from the way I behave with Lapu, and again very different from Mehek Singh. So I had to figure all of that out. So yeah, I think the basic actor prep that I had to do was that, and yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. And Sandeep, of course, we have seen you in role, like I saw you in Bisat. That role was completely different. And now a romantic comedy. But has it ever hit you like the fear of getting typecast in roles such as that are dance related? Because people usually, see a dancer and they want to cast her in maybe songs, in films, or maybe in dance related roles. Has that fear ever entered your mind?
Not at all, because I'll tell you what, to be honest, I am more known for my dance than for anything else.
Yeah.
But I have been offered Mumbai, I've been offered Bisat, I've been offered like Mai, and then now this. So to be honest, how do I say that I should be fearing typecasting? I'm actually not, because everybody's offering me these strong parts. I'm not even going out there and looking for these parts. These parts are actually coming to me. So I don't think the typecasting thing is a worry anymore, because this is the first time I actually got offered a dance-based
role. Yeah.
So I would have thought that if everybody knows me for my dancing, I would have got this offered first. But this has come much later. Like I have got Abhay first, man. Like I played an investigative officer in that. Like who would have thought that somebody who dances will do a cop, and I'm like a solid cop. So I think I'm very lucky that I haven't gotten stereotyped at all. I mean, I'm thankful.
Yeah, that's great. Excellent. And what about the web space? Of course, we have seen you in several shows and several roles. Do you think web space is here to firstly stay, and is, of course, a new ball game now that theaters are also not working for a long time now.
Completely no. I think all of us have gotten addicted to watching these web shows at
Yeah.
our own time and space. I think we it's given us the privilege of watching something at a minimal cost, and which is sometimes far more entertaining than a film in the theater. I think, especially nowadays, I was watching Family Man. I think it's fab.
Yeah.
Scam has been fab. I think there's so much content. Aspirants,
Yeah.
um,
Excellent.
brilliant stories, man. Um, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Like I was talking to Sunny the other day, and Sunny's, did aspirants. After I watched aspirants, I called Sunny. Like I'm so glad that good actors are finally getting their due. I think
Yeah.
digital is here to stay, and digital is now an actor's medium. It's not a star medium, and I'm so glad about that. Finally,
Okay. Thank you so much, Sandeepa, for joining, and it was a pleasure chatting with you. All the very best for your future projects.
thank you so much. Bye bye.
Most
Take care.
welcome. Bye bye. Take care. You too.